Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, here with my brief thoughts on The Black Phone. This was directed by Scott Derrickson, and it is based on the short story of the same name written by Joe Hill, the son of Stephen King. This movie stars Ethan Hawke, and I'm going to read their names so I get them right. Mason Thames? It sounds like the River Thames, so I'm just going to go with Mason Thames, and Madeline McGraw. And it tells the story of a young boy named Finney, played by Thames, who is bullied at school, has an alcoholic father, and a loving sister. Things seem to be going as well as you could expect. However, he is kidnapped by, the resident kidnapper named the Grabber, played by Ethan Hawke. However, once he is in the layers of the Grabber, Finney learns that where he is staying, there is a black phone, which, while it doesn't technically work, it works in another sense, in which the Grabber's victims call him to give him advice on how to defeat the Grabber and escape. If you all haven't really noticed, horror movies haven't been doing so well this year. Honestly, I think it's one of the only genres that's really just not been good this year. Two of my worst movies that I've seen all year are that Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie on Netflix and Men. I don't think I need to explain my thoughts on the latter. You all know my thoughts on them if you watch my review on that, which, go see it if you haven't, but it was bad. But my hopes were high for The Black Phone, and while I can safely say that this is definitely more of a thriller than a horror, this was still very well made. Firstly, gotta give credit to Mason Thames. He is on screen for the most amount of time. He is the main character, and he does a really good job. I hope he gets more work after this because he does deserve it. Madeline McGraw, who plays his sister, does a good job as well. Her character, and I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler, it's been teased in the trailer, so I'll just talk about it here, but she is given, I want to say, psychic powers, and considering that this story was written by the son of Stephen King, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that a girl who has supernatural powers that are not explained are in this story. Also, while this movie does not take place in Maine, it takes place in Colorado, which I'm pretty certain the King family are convinced that the U.S. is only made up of two states, Maine and Colorado. You can't change my mind on that. Ethan Hawke is on the marquee, and he is the villain of this story, and yeah, he is definitely creepy. I like how this movie doesn't show off Ethan Hawke's face. You see his face for like a brief second near the end, but that's in the context of this final battle, which again I won't spoil, but it's the finale. You don't see it until then. The rest of the time, the only thing you get to see of Ethan Hawke's face are like his eyes in one scene where he's wearing his mask to cover his mouth, or he is wearing like the top part but his mouth exposed. And when he's not wearing the mask at all, he's just wearing dark sunglasses. So you don't see his face. But Hawke, you can understand everything that he says, and you can understand just the wheels turning in his head. It's all very well done. My lone problem with the movie is the father character. He's basically your standard alcoholic father. He's not abusive except for one particular scene, but you'll know when you see it. But there's no real implications of anything other than just him being an alcoholic. But I thought that was rather unnecessary. That was definitely one, as someone who has seen more than a few Stephen King-based movies, that definitely stuck out like a sore thumb. If there's anything that King likes to write, is alcoholic fathers. Jeremy Davies did a good performance in the role. I just had to roll my eyes at we get another alcoholic father. It just drove me nuts. But like I said, this movie is not a pure horror movie. It's more of a thriller with a dash of horror and some mystery thrown in for good measure. Don't go into this expecting, like, say, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which they actually do reference in the movie, like, in dialogue between characters. This isn't like a Leatherface where he's running around with a chainsaw. This is more of the horror that makes you think, or a thriller that makes you think. If I had to describe this movie, it is Prisoners crossed with The Sixth Sense. If you like one or both of these movies, then I have a feeling that you're going to dig this. And this has got to be one of my favorite third acts of the year. Just everything builds and builds and builds to a final conclusion, and this movie stuck the landing very well. Let's just say I'm not going to be looking at phones with handsets in the same way for quite a while. I'm going to give this movie a great rating. I'm going to dock some points because the alcoholic dad did weigh things down just a bit for me. I'm just so sick of seeing that trope. But the rest of the movie I thought was very well done. It is tension-filled. You really do feel for the not little boy, but the boy in Finney. The sister character I thought was very well done. There's some hintings at supernatural stuff which could have gone completely pear-shaped, but the movie did a good job of not giving up the ghost and instead giving you implications of what might be going on, but also what might not be going on. It's kind of like The Shining, where you're given some answers, but not all the answers, if that makes any sense. I am very much considering this a horror movie, and this is the best horror movie of the year, which is kind of like not saying much, but just state of horror movies in 2022. My God. But what did you all think of The Black Phone? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say. And if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.